inventors who died from their own invention. Progress has always demanded bravery, but sometimes that bravery steps too close to the edge. Imagine spending your entire life chasing an idea, believing it will change the world, only to be taken by the very thing you created. These are not stories of failure. They are stories of obsession, belief, and the thin line between genius and danger. Stick around to the end, because each story leaves behind a lesson written in sacrifice. Franz Reichelt, the man who trusted the fall. In the early 1900s, aviation was still a dream stitched together with hope and canvas. Franz Reichelt was a tailor by trade, living in Paris, watching pilots fall to their deaths when early aircraft failed. He believed he could save them. Reichelt designed what he called a parachute suit. It looked like an overcoat, but hidden inside were folds of fabric meant to spread like wings during a fall. He tested it with dummies. The results were mixed. Friends urged him to improve the design. Authorities warned him not to test it on himself. On a cold February morning in 1912, Reichelt climbed the Eiffel Tower. Officials thought he would use another dummy. Instead, he stepped forward himself. Witnesses watched in silence as he jumped. The suit never opened. Reichelt fell straight down, dying on impact. His invention failed in the most public way imaginable. Yet his goal was never fame. It was protection. His death became a grim reminder that belief alone cannot replace testing, no matter how noble the intention. Thomas Midgley Jr. Brilliant mind, fatal machine. Thomas Midgley Jr. was one of the most influential inventors of the 20th century. His work reshaped modern life in ways most people never notice. He helped develop leaded gasoline and chlorofluorocarbons, both once praised as miracles of chemistry. But Midgley's death came from something far more personal. In his later years, he was left partially disabled by polio. Determined to remain independent, he designed a system of ropes and pulleys attached to his bed. It allowed him to lift and lower himself without help. In 1944, Midgley became tangled in the device. He strangled to death, trapped in the very machine he built to save himself. There is a quiet tragedy in that ending. A man who solved global engineering problems could not escape a mechanism born of necessity and pride. His life reminds us that innovation does not stop being dangerous just because it happens at home. Horace Lawson Hunley, the submarine pioneer. During the American Civil War, Horace Lawson Hunley believed naval warfare could be changed forever. His invention was a hand-powered submarine, designed to slip beneath enemy ships and destroy them unseen. The submarine, later named the H.L. Hunley, was revolutionary and terrifying. It was cramped, dark, and dangerously experimental. During a test run in 1863, the submarine sank. Hunley was aboard. He and several crew members drowned inside the vessel. Despite the tragedy, the submarine was recovered and used again. It would later sink 2 more times, killing more crew, before becoming the first submarine in history to sink an enemy ship. Hunley never lived to see that moment. His death showed how innovation during war often advances faster than safety, driven by urgency rather than caution. Alexander Bogdanov, science in the blood. Alexander Bogdanov was a Russian physician, philosopher, and revolutionary thinker. In the early 20th century, he became obsessed with one idea: blood transfusion as a path to human rejuvenation. Bogdanov believed exchanging blood could extend life, improve health, and even restore youth. He founded an institute dedicated to transfusion research and tested the procedure on himself repeatedly. At first, he reported success, better vision, improved energy. Then came the fatal experiment. In 1928, Bogdanov received a transfusion from a student who carried malaria and tuberculosis. His body could not handle the infections. He died soon after. Bogdanov's work contributed to the foundation of modern transfusion science. But his death stands as a warning about pushing experimental medicine beyond safe limits, even in the name of progress. Marie Curie, the invisible cost of discovery. Marie Curie did not die in an explosion or a sudden accident. Her death was quieter, slower, and more insidious. She discovered radioactivity, a concept that transformed science and medicine. Alongside her husband Pierre, she isolated radium and polonium, handling them with bare hands, unaware of the danger. At the time, radiation seemed almost magical. Curie carried glowing samples in her pockets. Her notebooks shimmered faintly in the dark. Years later, the cost became clear. Marie Curie died in 1934 from aplastic anemia, caused by prolonged radiation exposure. Her papers are still radioactive today, stored in lead-lined boxes. She paid with her life for discoveries that saved millions. Her story reminds us that some dangers reveal themselves only after the damage is done. What these stories leave behind. These inventors were not reckless fools. They were dreamers, builders, and problem solvers. Each believed deeply in their work. Each accepted risk as part of creation. Their deaths teach us that innovation demands humility, that progress needs patience, that ambition, when unchecked, can turn inward and bite. Yet without people like them, the world would stand still. If these stories moved you, take a moment to reflect on the inventions shaping your life right now. And if you want more true stories where human brilliance meets its limits, don't forget to subscribe and stay with us for the next one. Because history's most powerful lessons are often written in the shadows of greatness.